One Punch Man. One Punch Man is the best. Is the best, figuratively speaking. Like the artistry for One Punch Man is great. Honestly, like like if you look at the artistry for One Punch Man, like by Yusuke Murata, like come on now, like and the comedy is ridiculous. It's out of this world. Like and that I just love seeing the S class, like because right now in the arc that we're in, the S class are like ridiculous. Like we're starting to see them fight, we're starting to see them struggle a little bit, and I just love it. You know what I'm saying? So One Punch Man, if you don't know it, I'll tell you a little bit about it. One Punch Man story: guy wants to be a hero. You know what I'm saying? He trains every fucking day for about 3 years or some shit, and then he goes bald, and now he's the strongest person in the world. Boom. That's all you need to know. Go read One Punch Man. Go read all these manga. Honestly, even the honorable mentions. You know what I'm saying? While some things may not be for me, like I'm basically saying the things higher on the list, I mean they're for me, but you know what I'm saying, they might better suit you, you know, or the honorable mentions might better suit you, you know. But yeah, go read all these manga, you know. All right, so number 4, One Piece. Do I really need to say anything? That did you knew One Piece was going to make top, at least top 4. Most of y'all are probably like top 3, but no, it made top 4. You know, but One Piece is the behemoth, the damn near 1,000 chapters. You know, One Piece is just the best, honestly. And I'm all saying this figuratively. If it's not number 1, you know what I'm saying? Like all of it is figuratively. But One Piece is a great manga. I got into it around 200. I want to say 200 chapters ago. Maybe 3. No. 200. It seems like longer. It was either 200 or 300. Whatever chapter it was where they got to Dressrosa. That might have been 700, 600. I can't remember. But yeah, I got there and then I was like, yo, the world of One Piece is great. And the best part of One Piece is the world building. And then the second part I'd say is the characters. And then the third part is the mystery, honestly. And the best thing about it is it's just there's always something more, and I love that about One Piece. That's where the mystery comes in, and then in the world building, and then the characters are so goofy, but also so strong and so intimidating. But also they have like funny moments. It's just crazy. And then you have like the moments where the arc ends, and then you see how the world reacts to what the main character did, and then you're just like, dang, like look at everyone, like you see characters that you haven't seen before, and all of y'all know what I'm talking. Like when anyone in the crew gets like a new bounty, or the best part was like when Luffy was in Enies lobby. No, my bad, Water 7. After Enies lobby, when he was in Water 7, and then you saw how all the crew got bounties, and then you saw how Luffy's bounty went from 100 to 300 million. And then you're like, what? And then you saw how everyone got a bounty. Zoro, who already had a bounty of 60 million, got a double bounty of 120 million. Sanji got 77 million. Nami got like 30 million? That sounds about right. No. Usopp got 30 million. Nami got like 66 million or something like that. It was just crazy to see how all the characters got bounties and they all went up. And then what's even more crazy is that Luffy's bounty now, and this is a major spoiler, so if you don't want to know, mute this or skip past it. And here I go. Luffy's bounty now is 1.5 billion. 1.5 billion after the Whole Cake Island arc, which he was already at 500 million after Dressrosa. His bounty tripled after fighting a Yonko, after beating 2 sweet commanders, after beating a Yonko, pretty much. Not in a fight, but just stealing their shit. Beating them by living. That's beating them. Luffy isn't 1.5 billion strong, but that's the great thing about it. The power scaling is great in One Piece, because although you could use that as like the bounties as like a way to measure a person, just because a person has a 300 million bounty doesn't mean they won't lose to a person that only has 115 million berry bounty. you know. So that's just the greatness of One Piece. Just like a little bit. Go read it. Go watch it. Watch the anime if you don't want to read the manga yet. But yeah, I I One Piece top four. Number three, Seven Deadly Sins. You already know. We're in the top three now, so it kind of got hard for me, but you know, not really. But yeah, it did. Okay, so Seven Deadly Sins, number three. Seven Deadly Sins, I don't know why I like it so much. It's just the manga I like way better than the anime. I'm sorry. The animation, yeah, the anime, yeah, but like the manga is where it's at because I feel like it always gives a person more character development and characterization, and I feel like everything is connected. Like for example, like spoilers once again, like the stuff with Gother is a very good character. He really never gets a power up. You don't have to give him a power up. For one thing, his ability is broken, and another thing, he has the saddest. I'm joking, he doesn't have the saddest, but it is so sad and tragic how he got his sin of lust. It is so sad and tragic. And then you also learn so much more about Gother throughout the whole series because he has to learn. You are learning him as he is learning himself, you know, because Gother is a doll. He has no emotions. You know, his ability is memory manipulation, you know, and so he will manipulate people's memories. He will manipulate people's hearts because he does not have one. He doesn't understand these emotions, and it's just so great. Like don't get me wrong, Bond, Millie, like everyone's great, but I specifically pick out Gother because he actually learned because he didn't know any better, like a child, and then he actually learned and grew along with everyone else, and his character development is crazy ridiculous. He's crazy ridiculous, you know. But that's just like a small drop of like everyone else, even the bad guys. I mean, I know you're supposed to give bad guys character development, but the bad guys character development, some of them are on par with the main people, you know. And for all the anime onlys who don't know the tragedy behind Meliodas, like it's gonna be crazy. Like the tie-in between Meliodas and what happened 3,000 years ago, and Elizabeth, ridiculous, you know. And you know the people, like the Seven Deadly Sins as a whole, like King and Diane, you know, they're a couple now, you know what I'm saying? Like the mangaka didn't really care about the pairings that much, but I like that. Like the small things like that's what helps me stay with Nanatsu no Taizai, you know, Seven Deadly Sins. And even like minor characters like Jericho, like, who we really didn't give a fuck about, you know, she actually like got some character development, characterization, and it's just like, yo, he uses these characters in a way and he puts them in places with other characters to where they blossom. Like look at Hendrickson, look at Dreyfus, they're weak as shit, but they're still doing stuff in the manga. Like they're season 1 villains who are still around and still not competing, but still doing things, still having character development, characterization. Like it's ridiculous. You know, they don't become stagnant and stale. They continue to grow, and I love that. You know, so it's a constant movement in Nanatsu no Taizai. It's a constant keep on. It's not to the point where it's like damn, like slow down. It's like that with everything. It's like the fight scenes constantly. Like if you do a chapter with a fight, that fight won't drag out, but that action will keep on going. You know, if you see character development for at least one person, it'll last for about a whole arc. Like it won't like, oh, it's all about this character. No. It'll be sprinkled here and there, you know. And it's amazing that even in the last arc of the show, that we're still finding stuff out about the Seven Deadly Sins. Okay, moving on from Seven Deadly Sins though, because I could talk about that all day and I'd spoil everything, honestly. Moving on to number 2, Prison School. If you don't know, for one thing, go check out my 2 videos about Prison School's ending. If you don't know, you know what I'm saying? If you read Prison School and you're like, oh, I didn't know you read Prison School, like, yeah, go check out my videos on the ending of Prison School, both the last chapter and the epilogue. I did videos on both of them, and actually the video on the last chapter is actually my highest video, like my highest viewed video, and I'm surprised at that, honestly. And I appreciate it. Love to all y'all, you know. But yeah, Prison School manga, it's the funniest manga I've ever read in my life, honestly. the funniest manga I've ever read in my life. Prison School is the epitome of over exaggeration. The smallest scenes feel like the most dire situations, and it's hilarious. It is hilarious. Like, I've never seen a show to the point where this is so stupid. This is so stupid to the point where I'm like, damn. Like, I'm actually into this. Like, you know what I'm saying? Prison School is ridiculous in a good way. Prison School is pretty much about these 5 boys, right? Main character, his name's Kiyoshi. They go to an all-girls school. They're the first guys to ever be allowed into an all-girls school, right? They do some stupid stuff. They get caught, and if you get caught in that school, you have to go to a prison, quote unquote. It's like in-school prison. It's not like ISS or anything. You're actually like wearing prisoner outfits, and that's how you learn. Like, that's how you get taught. Like you get taught like inside of like a mini jail. You have to bathe in there and all that shit. It's like an actual prison, and you get taught, like, you still learn like school stuff, but it's just ridiculous how everything happens. And then the boys have to break out, and then you have the underground student council, and then later on you have the actual student council, and then it's just crazy how like everything just happens. And the main thing that has you, or at least had me eventually in Prison School, was the relationship with Hana, Kiyoshi, and I forgot her name. Shit. Ah, damn. It started with an M. It was the underground student council sister. I forgot her name. I'll put it there. No, I'm sorry. I'm so mad at myself that I forgot her name. Yeah, it's not coming to me. Whatever. But like the character, like the love triangle between all of them, like it's crazy. You can go watch my videos on them. I'll leave them in the description. It's crazy. It's crazy. Prison School's crazy. Prison School's hilarious. Prison School's funny. It's over the top. It's exaggerated. I love it. The artwork is amazing. You know, the characters are goofy, but you love them. They stress about stupid stuff in a stupid way, and it's amazing. All right, going on to number 1. Those who rock with me know what it is. If you thought it was 7 Deadly Sins, not a bad guess, but I already said 7 Deadly Sins, and if you've been rocking with me for a while, you already know what I'm about to say. It's Moggy, yo. It's Moggy. Number 1's Moggy. Come on now. Moggy. Moggy. 7 Deadly Sins? No. Prison School? No. Hunter x Hunter? No. Berserk? No. Bleach? No. No. Moggy. Wonder why? You want to know why it's Moggy? Because Moggy is the shit. Moggy has the story there. Moggy has the cool transformations. Moggy is a little bit of everything. It's a little bit of Bleach. It's a little bit of Hunter x Hunter. It's a little bit of Dead Man Wonderland. It's a little bit of One Piece. It's a little bit of Taizai. It's a little bit of Prison School. It's a little bit of everything. That's just how amazing Moggy is to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, when I got into Moggy, the anime, I was like, okay, this is a cool show. It's pretty cool. The transformations are dope, you know. And I watched all of the first season, and then I started reading the manga, and then I was like, why am I reading the manga when there's a second season? So I stopped reading the manga. I went back to the first episode of the second season and I started watching. I watched all the way through, then I started reading the manga. And I feel like that's when the manga spiked up for me. I don't know if watching the anime helps elevate the manga, but it just makes it so much better, you know? Like I said, it's a little bit of everything, and Moggy is basically a story of kings, pretty much, where these 3 Moggy, right? 3 wise men, whatever you want to call it. 3 Moggy. There are 3 in every generation, and it so happens that there's 4. In reality, there's 5, but as far as they know, there's 4 Moggy, and that's never been heard of. So They basically go around every generation and help find. They basically go around every generation and help find the next king. You know, so that's basically all I can give you without like spoiling everything. Honestly, I mean, there's a kid named Aladdin. You know what I'm saying? It's based on the Arabian Nights. So like in the chapter you see like the 54th Arabian Night or something like that. You know, so you know the Arabian Nights. You know the little stories and shit. So it'd be like the 65th night of their or something like that. You know, so Moggy is a story about Aladdin and Alibaba. Aladdin being the Moggy, Alibaba being the potential king, and you have to go through dungeons, and the dungeons have jinn, and the jinn will grant you any wish, and sometimes if you're worthy, the jinn will go into like any metal you have. It could be a weapon, or it could just be a regular metal. It could be a chain, it could be a ring, you know, it could be anything like that, and it'll embed itself inside of that item, kind of like how Zanpakuto in Bleach, you know, it'll embed itself inside of that object, and then that person will have something called a metal vessel. A metal vessel is them gaining the powers of that jinn, of the abilities, and it's an ideological show. Basically, what's right? How do you govern a world? How do you govern a kingdom? What is the right way to do it? And the battles are ideological battles. So there's a lot more at stake rather than just, oh, I'm gonna fight this person, and if I fight this person, I win. You know, it's more than that. You fight that person, you win for that time, but that person's country is what might come after your country if you have an affiliated state or country. Moggy isn't supposed to be that complicated. It's really not. It's not simple, but it's not supposed to be that complicated. It's a fun show. It's a great journey, and that's what I like. It's an adventure. It feels like Dragon Ball low key. It's like Dragon Ball. If I was to put like main points in it, it's like Dragon Ball Bleach. Put in some fairy tale or some 7 out of 10s for the magic. The moments with the relationship stuff, like with Alibaba and Morgiana, put some prison school in there. You know, sometimes it gets dark like Berserk. Like literally, people get the skin ripped off of them by God, or a vessel of God, should I say? Not actually God, like a medium of God. You know, it has the world building like One Piece. Not as good as One Piece, but it has the world building like One Piece. It eventually gets to the point where one of the main characters, named Sinbad, he becomes stronger than God. He becomes one of the strongest characters. That's what people debate. They're like, he is one of the strongest characters in anime and manga because he can literally create whatever. He is on that type of level. He is a greater god. Like, it's ridiculous. And to see how far, it's basically like a maturing. Once you finally see them mature, it's just ridiculous because you see at the standpoint, the main character's standpoint, or at the standpoint of kids that do not have kingdoms, kids who do not have anything on their backs, who go from country to country with nothing. They don't have any affiliations. They have affiliations, but they don't have any like countries to back them up. You know? So this is from the perspective of kids that have nothing, and then later on, after years, they finally figure out an answer to what they couldn't ideologically. So it's just it's a ball of fun, and it's a ball of great storytelling, and it's a ball of friendship. And I don't like saying that word about anything anime or manga related, because friendship is like a bullshit. Like, it's not like a friendship power up or anything, but that's what I think. But it's actual friendship, and it's actual development, and it's actually good storytelling, and it's actually good character development. Not that all the other manga that I've listed didn't have that, but I feel like as a whole, as everything, Moggy does that the best for me, and that's why Moggy is always going to be, if not my number one, in my top 3. But yeah, that's it. Moggy, my number 1 anime manga, not anime, but you know, Moggy, my number 1 manga. Love the show, miss it. I just wish the anime would make a 3rd season already. But yeah, that's it, y'all. That's my list. That's my top 10 manga list. I know it's kind of long, but I had to say what I had to say, and you know, that's just I came up with this list at like 3 o'clock in the morning, and I still feel like it's solid. It's a solid list, But yeah, tell me what your top 10 down in the comment section down below. If you have one, if you only have like a top 5, if you only read that many manga, I've only read, this is about how much manga I've read. The only manga I really didn't put in here was like stuff that I just read that I don't remember the name of, or like Hunter x Hunter, not Hunter x Hunter. What's it called? My Hero Academia. I have problems with that show. I'll make a video about that one day maybe. But yeah, I'll appreciate y'all, and like I said, go follow me on Anime Amino. Same name, everything. Go follow me on Patreon. I'll leave the link in the description down below. Also with all the videos that I was talking about with the prison school stuff, yeah. And I will see you guys later. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. I hope you have a good day, and signing out.